I'm getting ready to go break up with my fiance and call off our wedding less than a week before it's supposed to happen because he won't cut things off with his best female friend, even though she's crossed every single boundary. Right when my fiance and I started dating, he was transparent about the fact that he had a best female friend, let's call her Jill. And they were very, very close. They met in college and were apparently just like best friends, soulmates, whatever that means to him. I had always said that I could never be with a guy that had a best girlfriend, but I don't know. I fell in love with my fiance and Jill didn't live in the same state as us, so it was never that big of a problem. I mean, she texted him all the time and that was annoying, but we never really saw her. Once when we were dating, Jill did come into town to visit my fiance for a long weekend, and I was not invited to meet her because they just really wanted to spend one-on-one time together. And let me tell you, that was one of the biggest fights in our entire relationship. It almost ended our relationship. Because what do you mean you're gonna have a girl come into town and stay with you and I'm just not gonna meet her? Absolutely not. And I did almost break up with him for that, but then he apologized, said it would never happen again, blah, blah, blah. I forgave him. I realize now that that was the wrong decision. About 4 months ago, Jill goes through a breakup with her long-term boyfriend and she decides that she needs to move to start fresh. And guess where she decides she's gonna move to? Yeah, you're right. It is the city that my fiance and I live in. She doesn't know anybody else in that city except for my fiance. So you know the reason she moved there was because of him. So I meet Jill for the very first time when I'm helping her unpack in her new apartment. And however bad I thought that this meeting was gonna go, it went 10 times worse. She's being so beyond rude to me. She's referring to me as my fiance's little girlfriend. We've been engaged for months at this point. And she's also purposely calling me by the wrong name, even though both me and my fiance corrected her multiple times. She's bringing up all my fiance's exes, talking about how she loved them, just trying to make things really uncomfortable and clearly trying to pick a fight between my fiance and I. And I'm not taking the bait on this. I knew exactly what game she was playing, but she was just so rude. So after we get home from helping move her in, obviously I'm bringing up to my fiance all of the obvious issues that happened. And he's just kind of blowing me off. Like, Jill just takes a little bit to warm up. It's just how she is, don't take it too personally. And are you kidding me? She was just openly rude to me. I decided I'm gonna try and be the bigger person because I really care about my fiance. He really cares about Jill. And somehow the two of us can be friends, right? Wrong. Jill makes absolutely zero effort to make any new friends in the city and is just constantly texting my fiance, trying to make plans to hang out, obviously never wanting me included in the plans. Jill is coming over to our apartment almost every single night, and when she does, she's barely acknowledging me or just being outright so rude to me, and my fiance says and does nothing about it, no matter how many times I point it out to him. Anytime my fiance and I were supposed to have a date night, he would either invite Jill to join, or even if he didn't invite her, she would just show up because she has my fiance's location. Why? I didn't even know she had his location, but she does. So she would just show up at the dinners we were at and be like, hey, I'm here. You must have forgot to invite me. He didn't care. It didn't bother him. When I would bring this up to my fiance, he would just say, well, she doesn't know anyone else here. We need to be here for her. She just went through a breakup. She's in this new city. I was like, it is not my problem that she doesn't have any other friends because she's not trying to make friends. She's just hitting you up 24/7. She can go out and make other friends. Finally, I tell my fiance that he needs to establish some firm boundaries with her and that he needs to tell her that she cannot be coming over to our apartment every single night and she can't just show up to our date nights that she's not invited to. That's weird. And luckily, he agrees. And over the next few weeks, things seem to start getting a little better. We're only seeing her 2 to 3 times a week instead of 7. But I was stupid to think that this situation would actually resolve itself because last week it was my fiance and I's anniversary and we had a very romantic date night planned. And Jill knew this because she had asked my fiance to hang out that night and he told her that he couldn't because it was our anniversary. So my fiance and I are at dinner and all of a sudden his phone is just lighting up. It is call after call after call from Jill and just so many texts that just say, call me, I really need to talk to you. It's an emergency. So he looks at me and he's like, can I call her? I feel like I should. And I was immediately like, yeah, call her because I thought there was an emergency, like something really bad happened and she really needed to talk to him. Of course she didn't. Who am I to expect that there was actually something really wrong, that she needed to interrupt our anniversary dinner? So my fiance calls her back and I can hear her sobbing through the phone. What had happened was a man that she had gone on 2 dates with texted her saying that she was a really nice girl, but he just didn't feel a romantic connection and didn't think that they should continue to see each other. Okay, that's normal in dating. She's absolutely losing her mind, telling my fiance that she needs him right now, that she doesn't know what to do. She's so upset. 2 dates. She didn't even kiss this man. She's acting like her husband just filed for divorce on her, but no, that's not what was happening. But credit to my fiance. He tells her on the phone, listen, I'm really sorry that this is happening to you, but it's our anniversary. I need to be focused on that right now. I can see you tomorrow and we can go and talk this out. And she was not happy about that, but he was like, I gotta go. I'm at dinner. We can talk later, and hung up. But as we're leaving the restaurant, guess who is waiting for us right outside? Yeah, yeah, it's Jill. She had clearly had a lot to drink and she was very upset. She immediately starts screaming at me, being like, you did this. You're the reason that he wouldn't come see me. You've gotten in the way of our friendship. You're selfish. Just saying all these horrible things about me. I'm just standing there with my to-go food, just staring at her. Then Jill says, everyone knows that me and him are meant to be together and you're just getting in the way of that. And then she pushes me. I'm so taken aback at this point. My fiance grabs Jill, pulls her away from me. I look at him. I said, you need to get her home, make sure she gets home safe, and then immediately come home. We need to talk about this. I don't even acknowledge Jill because I have nothing to say to her. When my fiance finally gets home, I sit him down and I said, I never wanted it to get to this point, but it's ultimatum time because now Jill has put her hands on me, basically confessed her love for you, and constantly is crossing every single boundary. I told him, I am about to be your wife, the mother of your children, and you have to pick and prioritize me. You have to cut things off with her. No communication, no friendship. I never wanted to be put in a situation where I was telling my fiance who he could and couldn't be friends with. I would hope that he just would have stopped being friends with her anyway after she did that, but it had to be said. Shockingly, he agrees with me. He says, after tonight, you're right. Jill can't be a part of my life anymore and I will end that friendship. But then last night, my fiance tells me that he's going to get drinks with one of his guy friends, but then I'm scrolling through my phone. I see that friend that he's supposed to be with post on his social media story. He is not with my fiance. And I hate that I had to do this because I have never been close to doing anything like this in our relationship. But I look at his location, I see what bar he's at, and I drive there. And through the window, I see him and Jill hanging out, having a great time together. It was not like they were having some kind of closure talk about, why the friendship needed to end. No, they were giggling, laughing, having the best time. So not only are you staying friends with somebody that's constantly disrespected me, but you're lying to me about it. I'm done. My fiance has absolutely no idea that I know about this, so this breakup is going to come as a complete shock to him. But let me know if you want to know how it goes because I just feel like there's going to be a lot more drama with Jill to come.